Hello guys and welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. Once again I'm Greg and this is the Starting 11 show where I will give you some team news as well as a prediction of how I think Everton might line up. Of course we've got Leicester for the second time this season. First time we played them we won 2-0, but we had the luxury of starting with Allen and Doucouré in the midfield. Of course Allen went off around the half-time mark of that game and we had to rely on Doucouré. This time unfortunately we have neither of them. Of course Allen's still injured and Doucouré is suspended for this one. So I think that's the big debate of this episode, this conversation is how do we build a midfield that can combat the likes of Ndidi and Tielemans, really good, strong players in that Leicester team who form a very nice midfield. Injury news, of course, we have Luca Dean and Iwobi back. They missed Sheffield Wednesday. Turns out we didn't miss them too much, but great to have them back for creativity in our team, certainly. And we are without, as mentioned, Doucouré through suspension, Allan through injury, and Gabamin and Delph as well. I believe Delph is back training with the first team, and Nkunku is out as well to add on top of that. Going into the team, I think it's Pickford back in goal. Olsen came in against Wednesday, didn't do anything wrong. He never really tends to do anything wrong. But just looking at the pattern of how we've gone this season, we're back in the league. It looks like Pickford will probably come back in unless there's been some sort of big paradigm shift behind the scenes of favour of Olsen over Jordan Pickford. But to my knowledge, it'll be Pickford. Backline, Luca Dean's back. Makes sense to stick him back at left back, doesn't it? Always one that's a tough decision because Ben Godfrey's come in and he's done so well. He's looked like one of our best players in this period through December. All the time Luca Dean's been out, he's deputised so well. I think he's impressed a lot of people, myself included. So it's very harsh to drop him from the team. And normally it would be so easy to put him into the centre-back position and say, well, you've played so well, out of position, put you in your natural position. But he's coming against some players who are bang in form. You know, Michael Keane has done nothing to be dropped. Yerry Mina's in the best form of his Everton career for me. And Mason Holgate as well looks like a top player. So I think Dean's in and it may see Godfrey drop from the team completely, but we'll get there. The centre-back partnership, I think we'll probably see Michael Keane come back into the side. He's he's been standout this season. He's been absolute class. I saw a comparison between the progressive passes made by him versus the other centre-backs in that Everton team and the way he delivers the ball up the pitch and provides a bit more of an outlet to play out from the back. It's hard to justify leaving him out when he has such an important presence in that centre of the pitch in terms of how we get forward. So I think he's back. Then there's the big decision of who sits next to him. Does Holgate sit there and Coleman outright? Does Godfrey come inside or does Mina keep where he is and stay in that position? And for me, I think Mina's got to keep it. He's really shone. His goals in the 45th plus minute mystifying. Get a corner in the 45th and we're almost guaranteed to score if it with Yerry Mina in the team. But past what he offers going forward, I think he's also bolstered what he can do defensively this season. I've seen less mistakes. I'm less scared when the ball comes back to him. He just looks very solid, a lot more like the player we thought we were getting. So for me, it's Keane and Mina, who I like as a partnership as well. I think they're probably the two who have played the most minutes together. And then on the right, it's a discussion of does Seamus Coleman go or do we stick Holgate back there? And a lot of this depends on how we play the midfield, which I'll get to in a second. But for me, Coleman was a little weak against Sheffield Wednesday. I feel like we could have had a few more if his delivery had been a little bit more accurate, come a bit quicker. I think Richarlison showed some visible frustrations at points to the fact that balls were being either overcooked, undercooked, not coming at all. So I think maybe we drop him here and put Holgate in. Holgate's been pretty stellar at right back ever since the West Brom loan. I'm quite happy for him to deputise there and maybe even in this position kick on. He got one of the goals against Leicester the first time around playing right back. So keep him there and let's see. Let's see if Coleman can play his way back into the team. For me, let me know how you guys feel about that back line though. Do you think it's harsh to drop Godfrey completely? Would you keep Coleman in? Would you go back to that sort of December back line where we had all centre backs, but they seem to keep 2 or 3 clean sheets on the bounce. But now going on to the sort of trouble area, and that is the midfield. I think there's an easy option, and the option I think we'll probably see, but there's also a lot of conversation about what we could do instead of that. Now my thought is that what we'll see is a partnership of Ben Davies and Andre Gomez. Andre Gomez coming into a bit of form, but perhaps this isn't the best game to show off the sort of creative form he's in, because he's going to have to do a lot of dirty work sitting next to Tom Davies. It's not necessarily going to give him the creative freedom he's had against teams like Sheffield Wednesday. And I think we'll probably see those two both sitting quite deep in a bit of a pivot. But, the other thing we could see maybe is Holgate come into that midfield, and I think he did it sort of 1 or 2 or 3 games last season. He's a bit more mobile. Perhaps he's even closer to the profile of Toffee than any of the other midfielders we have at the club. So maybe he comes in, Coleman goes right, and either Davies or Gomez has to drop out. But I think it's probably a bit experimental for a prediction. Let me know if you guys think that'd be an idea. Maybe Godfrey could come and sit in and be agile. He seems to be a bit of a Swiss Army knife of a defensive player anyway. You put him, he seems to flourish. So maybe he could have a go there. Who would you drop in that case as well? Let me know. Just in front of them, James has to be. I know that's a concerning midfield 3 in terms of dominating the ball. But I think it's crucial to have him in the team just for the touch of quality and what he can unlock, and especially playing at home, he's got that added bit of quality for some reason. It does mean dropping out Gylfi Sigurdsson, who's probably been in the best recent form he's been in. Not the best game against Sheffield Wednesday, but James has to be in the team, and with Iwobi coming back, for me, he just takes his space back on the right. I feel like that's a agility, a speed, a creative presence that we sort of need. Him and Richarlison on the left is of course my 2 wide players, and I think they will have to do a lot of running and a lot of tracking back this game. I feel like Iwobi's work experience at a right wing back is going to come in useful here, because they're going to have to work those channels. They're going to have to drop in maybe a bit deeper into the midfield to do a lot of covering as well, but also provide a lot of the delivery and the quality for the man in the middle, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Bagged again against Sheffield Wednesday. It really is a case of keep him there between the sticks and he'll score. So that's my team, guys. Pickford in goal. Moving right to left, of course, is Holgate, Mina, Keane and Dean. Davies and Gomez, with James just in front of them, and then Iwobi, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. It's probably the best I could do in terms of staying realistic. I think there is definitely room to explore the idea of Holgate or Godfrey sitting deeper in the midfield and providing a bit more. Tough to say what it would be, but there's a certain defensive quality they have that Tom Davies doesn't have. If you can quantify that and put it into words, let me know. But I think that's the best we can do here in terms of the depleted midfield. I think we will get bossed in the midfield. I think, as I said, they've got real quality players who can do a job. But we beat them last time with a depleted midfield. Obviously, Toffee provided that bit of quality that saw us through. But we beat Wolves without a striker on the pitch. Maybe we can beat Leicester without I'm not going to say without a midfielder on the pitch, but without that touch of quality. Let me know how you guys would line up. Would it be similar to that? Maybe you go to a back 5. Are there other players you'd like to see in? Let me know. Let's hope for a win, and I will see you guys next time.